Everyone, and welcome to Engineering Ethics at U of SC Aiken, Spring 2022 edition. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over the syllabus, explain the parameters of the course, and get into some resources that you have available to you. So first of all, let's go ahead and start by seeing where you can find the syllabus. So here we are in Blackboard. To get to the syllabus, you'll see a tab over here that says Syllabus. You just click on that, and there it is. Click on that. And it'll open up the syllabus like so. Click right here, you can also download it. So let's get into the content of the syllabus. So first off, all this pertinent information, including my contact info, is here. There's my email, there's my phone number to my office. I'm not in there a lot, but even if I'm not in there, it will go to my email if you leave me a message. So if you need to leave me a message, you can do that here. There's also a link here for our U of SC Aiken Discord server for philosophy and religion. I'll explain more about that in a little bit, but that's right here. You can click on this from the PDF of the document. But let's go ahead and get into the course description. This course is designed to be an introduction to the main problems, concepts, theory, and practice of engineering ethics. It will allow students to explore the relationship between ethics and engineering and apply classical moral theory and decision-making to engineering issues encountered in academic and professional careers. Further, this course shall also examine the ethical aspects of engineering as they relate to society as a whole, for human societies tend to posit the expectations of responsibility and accountability on their professionals, and this includes engineers and extends even to the results of engineering as well. So here are the expected learning outcomes for you in this class. Now, this is not something I expect you to do immediately, but by the end of the course, you'll be able to do the following things. 1. Recall and identify the major thinkers, schools, core philosophical questions, terms, and concepts found in the study of ethics. Further, recognize basic aspects in the philosophy of engineering. So eventually, when we're talking about, say, like Aristotle or Immanuel Kant, you'll know who I'm talking about. I don't expect you to know who any of those people are right now, but by the end of the course, you will. And then when we're talking about basic aspects in the philosophy of engineering, that includes aspects of engineering talking about various processes that we can zoom in and talk about in the practice of engineering, and also the various apparatuses that are in play when we make these kinds of analyses. 2. Interpret and explain core ethical engineering questions and concepts in terms that illustrate a comprehensive understanding thereof. I don't expect you to do that immediately, but by the end of the term, be able to explain the things that we talk about. Be able to explain things in light of ethical theories. 3. Apply core ethical engineering questions and concepts to contemporary issues in personal experience. So even if we're talking about classical ethical theories, some of which go back thousands of years, they do apply today. And I want you to be able to do that kind of application to things going on right now. 4. Compare and contrast related core ethical questions and concepts and the correlative thinkers and schools with which they are commonly associated. Be able to apply ethical constructs onto particular engineering case studies and examples. So again, to take the stuff from ethical theory and be able to apply it in specific circumstances, and also to be able to compare and contrast. From deontological theory, we can say this, but from utilitarianism, we can say this, and so on. 5. Justify a sound philosophical position on a topic or topics of the ethical dimensions of engineering which demonstrates a synthesis in thought. Be able to put it together yourself and back up what you have to say. Academic honesty. Now, this is not my own personal policy. This is the policy of the university. Here's what it says. The pressure to earn high grades and belief that a good end can justify any means whatsoever leads many students to resort to less than honest methods to acquire a desirable grade. The student is to avoid condescending into this particular quandary. The USCA student handbook lists cheating, lying, bribery, and plagiarism as academic dishonesty. And there's a host of examples included here: giving or receiving unauthorized assistance, unauthorized use of materials, unauthorized use of portable electronic devices, access to the contents of any test or examination, purchase, sale, theft of a test. Those items so far, usually not a problem in this class. The 5th one, however, can be a problem. Use of another person's work without proper acknowledgement of source, that is plagiarism. We'll talk more about how to avoid plagiarism when I talk about specific writing assignments for the class. 6. Intentional misleading of any person in connection with any academic work. So lying about your ability to complete or your inability to complete something. 7. Offering or giving any favor or thing of value for the purpose of influencing improperly a grade or other evaluation of a student in an academic program. I know I'm failing the class, professor, but here's this gift card that I got you. No. 8. Conduct intended to interfere with an instructor's ability to evaluate accurately a student's competency or performance in an academic program. So that one's kind of hard to pull off too. So usually not a problem. But work submitted for this course that is determined to be the result of either cheating, plagiarism, or collusion will earn a 0 for that assignment and may cause the student to receive an F. So if I find that you're culpable for violating one of these aforementioned items, you get a 0 on that assignment. So avoid. And if you're not sure about it, come to me and ask me about it. Like, am I doing this the right way here? Better safe than sorry. Required text for the course: Martin and Schinzinger's Introduction to Engineering Ethics and Robinson's Ethics Within Engineering. And a lot of the assignments for this class will involve reading out of these texts on your own. Sometimes I'll explicate them in lectures. Other times I'll be referencing things in there that you will have read. In addition to that, though, there'll be some other reading assignments that I'll put up on Blackboard as PDFs. Grading components and weights. So here are the assignments. The short version is there are 6 assignments for this class. 2 exams, 3 weekly analyses, and a case study report. So let's start with the exams. There's 2 exams, each worth 25%, midterm and a final. And they'll always have multiple choice and fill-in-the-blank questions. And it says here essay questions, just written responses that are more than short answer. So like a paragraph. And I'll do a separate video on how to do the exams later. The midterm is going to be due Friday the 4th of March. The final is going to be due Friday the 29th of April. And the way the exams are going to work is they're due on those days, and you have 2 days to get it in after that for each. If you turn it in a day late, so let's say your midterm, you're like, I can't get it in the 4th, you get it in on the 5th. 10 points off. I couldn't do it in the 5th, I got it in the 6th. 20 points off, but that's as late as it will go. So you have 2 days after the due date to turn it in with a penalty. After 48 hours, it can no longer be submitted. Obviously, if there's extenuating circumstances, I'll work with you. Just contact me. Then you will have 3 2-page weekly analyses. Each of these are worth 10% of your grade. And I'll have a separate video on how to do these as well. But basically, 3 times throughout the semester, end of January, end of February, end of March, you'll basically just do a kind of report on something that you learned in class. This is not meant to be an outside research paper. You don't need to get any external sources for any of this stuff. Just talk about, in your own words, something that we talked about in class. And you'll do that 3 times throughout the semester. Again, the due dates are here: January 31st, February 28th, March 31st. These are 2-page papers. They're very short. Now, they need to be completely 2 pages. Not, I made it to page 2, so it's 2 pages. 2 whole pages, that's it, on something that we did in class in your own words. That's it. Now, the way the late policy works on those, 10 points a day until it runs out of steam. So, yeah, this one, the first one's due the 31st of January. You turn it in February 1st, highest grade you can make is a 90. You turn it in February 2nd, highest grade you can make is an 80. Turn it on February 3rd, highest grade you can make is a 70, and so on until it runs out of, you can't get any possible points. So that would, until they exhaust. And then finally, the last assignment is a case study report. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to find a case study, something that happened, like some sort of incident in engineering ethics. Could be a disaster, could be some sort of problem, oil spill, Challenger exploding, whatever it is. You're going to take that and you're going to make a video report presenting the data on that particular case, and you'll also submit a bibliography with this as well. And in that video, you'll present an analysis of the case in light of ethical considerations, like what's going on here? Why is this ethically a problem? And again, I will make a separate video on how to do that exactly later on too. But the videos that you're going to make, they can be submitted as video attachments. You can do them as links. You could put them up on YouTube or TikTok or whatever and submit it that way. Probably would be several TikToks if you did it that way, but that would be perfectly fine. Or it can be something you make as an MP4 and you submit it that way into Blackboard. So you make a video that's a report of you talking about some sort of incident in the realm of engineering and talking about the ethical ramifications and considerations thereof, and a bibliography, just citing your sources. That's it. And that will be due Monday, April 25th. That's the last day of classes. And the way that late penalty is going to work, it's also 10 points a day, but up to May 1st, because anything after that, it's final grading season. If I kept it going on and on, it would go till when grades are due, so I can't do that, so there has to be that stopgap there. So there's a little bit of time where you can get things in late. Grading policy, I don't think there's anything particularly remarkable here, but here's what the grades are, A through F. And I'll say this, in the final analysis at the end of the semester, I always round up. So if you have a 87.00001 for whatever reason, you have a B+. If you have a 59.0000001, congratulations, barely, just barely, you made a D. Disabilities, if you have a physical, psychological, and or learning disability which might affect your performance in this class, let the Office of Disability Services know. Get me that paperwork. Granted, that's a difficult process itself to do that. So even if you don't have an official documentation, if you want to talk to me about some kinds of other accommodations and I can accommodate you, I would like to do so. So communicate that to me as well, even if it's not official. I'll do what I can. There are limits, but I'll do what I can. Please communicate with me. Now, when it comes to those weekly analyses, which are the only written work for the class as such in a formal manner, remember that written work that you produce in this class can be included in your Rising Junior portfolio. And for further information on the writing portfolio requirement for your graduation, consult the writing portfolio website, which you can get from the AZ Index on the USC Aiken homepage, or you can talk to Dr. Matthew Miller. Office hours. Now, if I'm in my office, we can talk, but probably I'm probably not going to be. I'm spending a lot more time at home making online courses and doing things like that. I'm going to hold office hours by appointment in Zoom, and also I can meet up on Discord as well. I already mentioned the Discord server, for which the link is at the very top of the syllabus on page 1. I'll be talking about that in a little bit too. So yeah, we can meet up whenever necessary. And actually, that's a little bit more freeing in that regard, because trying to meet in person, the timing is a challenge. Trying to meet online is a little bit easier because we can do stuff in the evenings when the university would be closed. Miscellaneous policies. Now, these are ones that apply online, so there are other ones don't really need to worry about you sleeping in class. That would be in my in-person classes. But here's the deal. 1, discourse and decorum. The university is a wonderful domain for discussion, dialogue, and discourse. However, vituperative language which the instructor perceives to be injuriously racist, classist, ableist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic, or xenophobic, among others, shall not be tolerated and may be grounds for being banned from the Discord server and or relevant discussion boards and may result in further disciplinary action. So in those instances, despite this being an online class, where there are instances where there's the ability to communicate with other students, if you do something that is harmful to others, it's not going to persist. All right, so don't do it. Okay, even if we're dealing with something where we're dealing with ethical debate, don't insult your classmates. And don't do anything that's meant to be harmful to them. 2, despite what I said earlier about all the due dates, I want you to keep this in mind. Once established, exams, papers, they're due when they're due, with those 10-point penalties. Nevertheless, missing a deadline can be a very stressful experience. I know, I've been there. I've had the experience of this is due today. How am I going to get this done? It can be terrifying. It can be anxiety-inducing. We can start to panic. Again, I've been there. And sometimes you don't know why it's happening. It could be, other stuff is going on in your life. It could be your own mental state, and it's not always obvious to you at the time exactly what's going on, just you're having a hard time. So often you can blame yourself when that happens, and I don't want you to do that, and I don't want you to get so stressed out that you completely disconnect. If you find yourself in that situation, you're like, I don't know how many get this done. I want to help you. So if you know you're going to miss a deadline, I can't get this in today. Get whatever you've got in that day. For example, weekly analysis, you only wrote a paragraph, get it in. And when you do that, the late penalty will be halved. So instead of -10, you got -5 now, because you turned something in and you said, this is what I've got right now. I want to finish working on it, but this is what I have at the moment. Get it in. Maintain communication with me, and we will get the work done together. We'll come up with a plan for you to get that stuff in, but please communicate with me in that regard. Don't let it be something that you do later, like, oh, that thing, it's April, and you say that paper that I missed in January, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Let me know what's going on, and I want to help you. I want to help you be successful. Okay, then I also have policies in here that really don't apply to us, like face masks. Obviously, this is an online class, so it's not really going to be a problem for us, but for some reason, if we do need to meet in person at some point, these things do apply, but these are university policies that I need to put in the syllabus regardless. So here they are. I'm not going to enumerate them because they're not as necessary for us in an online class. But there is one policy that I want to get into here, which is this. Since this is an online class, you gotta have access to a computer with video camera, microphone, maybe required daily or on occasion, depending on the mode of instruction or the health status of the student or faculty. So you gotta be able to do that just in case. There's not going to be anything where you have to do that, but since you have the case study report where you have to make a video, now granted those videos you can make on your phone. When we get there, I'll talk more about it. You also got to be able to access Blackboard and other things. So make sure you got internet access, and yeah, sometimes it goes out. It happened for me like 2 weeks ago. My internet was out for a week. It happens. Okay, now you've got the university where the internet's working, so if you have to go up to campus, you can make things happen. Okay, it's frustrating, it's annoying, I know, but there's things for this online class that have to be done. So you gotta have internet access. If something's going on, let me know. And you gotta make sure to check that email and Blackboard announcements, but I'll talk more about that in a little bit too, because the other means of communications that I want to try to employ for this class. And I have to put this qualifier in here in the post-COVID world. The University of South Carolina, Aiken reserves the right to change, adjust, or cancel any campus operation, including but not limited to mode of instruction, delivery of services, or use of campus facilities whenever the campus administration determines in its sole discretion that circumstances warrant the operational change. Which is a fancy way of saying that if the university has to change things because things happen because of COVID or something else, the university has the right to completely switch things around. If for whatever reason I can't complete the course because I end up being deceased, they can pick someone else to fulfill the course or things like that. Just whatever happens, yes, this syllabus is a binding agreement between us, but it's open to change at the university's discretion. Not my own, but at the university's. Just in case. Just so you know that's out there. And then finally in the syllabus, here's the basic outline of topics. These are not zoomed in, but at a very completely zoomed out level. We've got prolegomena, and that's just a fancy word that means like introductory stuff. That's going to be the stuff on logic and ethics. Then we're going to talk about the achievements of engineering of the last 2 centuries. We're going to talk about codes of conduct in ethics, which have been a big deal and what those mean. We're going to talk about the notion of safety, the notion of responsibility, the notions of truth, truthfulness, and truthiness when it comes to engineering. That's a really important one right now. And then we'll also talk about various contemporary problems. So contemporary problems will include things that are a lot more modern in the sense of like right now. Things that, yeah, sure, people have been building bridges for thousands of years, but it might involve stuff with computers and privacy and things like that. How does that come into play? So think of like Google or Tesla or Facebook and how those are matters of engineering ethics that are topics of debate right now. So that's the syllabus. Let's take a look at some other stuff that you have available to you in Blackboard and how to navigate that. So that's what I want to transition into next. So let's navigate Blackboard. So I've already talked about the syllabus and where to find that. On the homepage, nothing is here right now, but this is where all the announcements for all the assignments will pop up. Under course content, this is where the lectures will pop up. If you look at this here, like this is from a previous build, but this is what the lectures will look like. It'll be all these videos that you can watch here or in YouTube. Also, if you go to course content, there's supplemental readings, and so anything additionally that I'll add for the course that you need to read will be here too. Under assignments, right now weekly analyses are here, but this is also where the midterm, the final, and the case report are going to manifest too. So this is Blackboard and its navigation. But also, as I've already talked about in the syllabus, we've got our Discord server. So now I also want to mention the Discord server too. So here is also the U of SC Aiken Discord server. Now, this is for all the philosophy and religion classes at U of SC Aiken. For us, this is the engine room, and this is where if you got questions about this class for engineering ethics, the engine room, that's what it's for. I will also be posting the syllabuses and the assignments. Everything will also come up here too. Here's what I like about Discord. So maybe some of you already use Discord. It's primarily designed for people that are playing video games, but it's a social media service, and I like it because the communication is instantaneous, and it's also not marred by other kinds of communication. So for the course, I like the fact that you can communicate with me here. You can send me direct messages. I'll get them all the time. I have Discord on my phone. Everything here, all the assignments will be up here too. I'll post the syllabus up here too. Nothing will be submitted here, and Discord is not good at hosting information. So one of the things I like about Blackboard is I can put all the PDFs there that I want. I can put all the videos that I want, and that's great. But what I don't like about Blackboard is the communication. Also, what I don't like about Outlook is the communication. I don't know about you, but with U of SC Aiken, I know every day I get like 50 emails. Half of them are like, oh, we did another thing there. Here's another one of our teams that won some sort of contest. Here's another thing here about here's people that we hired. Here's other policies. And so sometimes when people are trying to communicate with me, it gets lost behind 50 emails. And so here's a way to communicate with me that's not lost behind emails. So let me be completely clear that this whole Discord thing here is completely voluntary. You don't have to use this. This is not something that's necessary for the course, but that being said, I think it's very helpful for the course. If you've never used Discord before, one of the disadvantages is you'll have to sign up for the service, but this is the best way to get in touch with me. This is the best way to do stuff. If I want to meet with you, like right now, like if you want to get together, you're like, oh, let's, I want to ask you some questions about stuff. Bam. I can click on this. Now we have a meeting room where we can meet together in person, even through video chat. You want to write me things, you can write me things here, and it's not going to be marred with a bunch of other emails that people have written me. You can talk to me right here directly. I'm going to get it. I know I'm going to see it. Because the worst thing that's happened to me over the years is sometimes someone will write me about something and I won't see it because it's lost among 50 other emails. Here, if you write me, I'm going to see it instantaneously. You can talk to me here very instantaneously as well. So this is what I would like to switch over to using. The university has its own Discord server itself, but this is one that is for philosophy and religion. And technically, this is a philosophy class. So again, the engine room is going to be our mode of communication if you so choose to employ this. And also you can direct message me here. I will post all the assignments here just like I do in Blackboard. Everything will be submitted in Blackboard, but this is the best place to reach out to me. So I think that about does it on the introduction to this course. You'll see me post some more stuff about the first assignment that you're supposed to do. It'll be some videos to watch, some things to read, and that's the way most of the course is going to go, other than the assignments that you're supposed to submit that I've already talked about. Stuff to read, stuff to watch, you'll see that. So if you have any questions for me, again, my email is here. And then also you can reach out to me in Discord as well. And I hope you have a very good semester here in spring 2022. Remember, my job is to help you. I want to help you be successful. All right. And so anything I can do to help facilitate that, let me know. Have a good year.